It was a night like any other when Mie, a young girl of 12, found herself in a peculiar situation. She had been playing in her room, surrounded by her favorite toys and books, when she noticed a strange shadow in the corner of her room. At first, Mia didn't think much of it. Shadows were common in her room, especially at night when the light from her bedside lamp cast strange shapes on the walls. But this shadow was different. It seemed to move on its own, twisting and turning in ways that defied As Mia watched, the shadow began to grow larger, spreading across the walls and ceiling of her room. It seemed to envelop everything in its path, leaving Mia feeling trapped and helpless. She tried to scream for help, but no sound came out. She tried to run, but her feet wouldn't move. She was frozen in place, unable to escape the shadow that was slowly consuming her room. As the shadow closed in on her, Mia could feel its icy touch on her skin. It was as if the shadow was alive and it was trying to take her with it. Just as Mia thought she couldn't take it anymore, she heard a voice in her head. It was soft and soothing, like a gentle breeze on a hot summer day. "Don't be afraid," the voice said. "I'm here to help you." Mia looked around, but she couldn't see anyone. The voice seemed to be coming from the shadow itself. "Who are you?" Mia asked, her voice trembling. "I am the Shadow Keeper," the voice replied. "I am here to protect you from the darkness that surrounds you." Mia didn't know what to think. She had never heard of a Shadow Keeper before, but she was grateful for its help. "Thank you," she said, feeling a sense of relief wash over her. The Shadow Keeper continued to speak to Mia, telling her stories of the dark and the creatures that lurked within it. Mia listened intently, her fear melting away as she learned about the world beyond her room. As the night went on, Mia felt herself drifting off to sleep. She was no longer afraid of the shadow that had once terrified her. She knew that the Shadow Keeper was there to protect her, and that she would always be safe in its care. And so, Mia closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep, knowing that she was no longer alone in the darkness. In the morning, Mia woke up to find that the shadow had disappeared. She looked around her room, but there was no sign of it anywhere. It was as if the shadow had never existed. But Mia knew better. She knew that the Shadow Keeper was still out there, watching over her and keeping her safe from harm. And as Mia went about her day, she couldn't help but smile. She knew that she would always have a friend in the darkness, and that she would never be afraid again. As the days passed, Mia grew more and more comfortable with the shadow that had once terrified her. She no longer saw it as a threat, but as a protector and a friend. One night, as Mia lay in bed, she heard a noise coming from the closet. She sat up and looked over, expecting to see the shadow that had once haunted her. But to her surprise, there was no shadow. Instead, there was a small, furry creature with glowing eyes. "Mia," the creature said, its voice soft and soothing. "I'm here to help you." Mia smiled and reached out to the creature. She knew that she was no longer alone in the darkness, and that she would always be safe in its care.